Welcome, everyone. My name is Gorkem. I'm the CTO of Jozu, and today I'm going to talk about the last AI ML model registry that you will ever need. Contrary to the title, today I'm here to talk not about another AI registry. So, why does everyone need an AI registry? If you are doing AI and ML, you can't just wing it. You might start with a neat little spreadsheet, to track your artifacts that you have tucked away in buckets and shared drives. But sooner or later, you will have to scale. Somebody will ask dangerous questions like which version is in production or what was the data set used? And your spreadsheet will crumble because spreadsheets are not designed for doing this job. They're good at dealing with numbers, not for tracking opaque artifacts. So, um, what do we do when we need to deal with new artifacts in our industry? We reinvent the wheel with preferably an animal themed logo and a few open source projects or proprietary tools. If you think about MLflow, Kubeflow, SageMaker, they all have some sort of model management capability. But if you look at them, they actually deliver complexity that is dressed up as innovation on this field. So, what do the most of the traditional registries miss? They do excel in some other areas like SageMaker and Kubeflow and MLflow especially. But when it comes to model registries, they fail us. First of all, they are new infrastructure. Some of them come with very poorly documented CRDs that you need to like somehow put on your Kubernetes clusters. Um, Second of all, they are not OCI-native, which means they are incompatible and some or all degrees with your existing GitOps and CI/CD pipelines. They offer no or non-standard governance. Attestations and provenance, they are nice to haves, but we talked about the dangerous questions in a few slides back. So when those dangerous questions are asked, you need attestations and provenance. They are very specialized. Most of them are. They are tightly coupled with they are tightly coupled when they're locked and incompatible with your ever evolving stack. But there is actually a much larger uh, issue with them. Most registries stand apart from the reality that is your containers, deployments, policies. They offer technology, but they are completely unreachable. So, what can we do about it? Instead, imagine repurposing what you already have and is working reliably in your organization. Your OCI registry is stable, boring, and battle tested. It supports this things like versioning, access control, signatures, attestations, SPOMs, compatible with your GitOps flows. All the grown-up infrastructure capabilities you enjoy, and they already exist. So why not use them? So this is exactly what KitOps is. It's a clever open source project hosted on CNCF that transforms your humble OCI registry into a full blown standards compliant model registry. There is no new infrastructure, just an integration into your existing workflows. And what are model kits? The model kits are is at the heart of KitOps. It's an OCI native artifact that packages your AI ML artifacts along with metadata, data sets, documents, code configurations, SBOMs, and attestations. So think containers, but purpose built for AI lifecycle. And since it is OCI native, your existing tools can't even most of the time tell the difference, and they will be blissfully ignorant and superb effective with model kits. So the model kit flow is the workflow that you dreamed of. Like it does version control and tagging. Your AI artifacts behave like software artifacts. You can use tools like Cosine to guard your models. Um, there are there are reproducible deployments that are as consistent as my coffee order. CI/CD and GitOps integration is already in place. Your pipelines, the principles behind your pipelines stays the same. Platform engineers, SREs, they don't panic because this is familiar territory. And for the rest of us, it comes with the PyKitOps SDK, which is Python library for data scientists and MLOps engineers. So enough talk. Let's do a little demo and show how this can actually work for you. All right. So I'm in a folder. Let's take a look at the contents of the folder. There are like 17-ish files in this folder, and you can see that there is data, documentation, a bunch of ML flow artifacts, and a model, which is a pickle file, and a couple of notebooks. One thing that is interesting is the kit file, which is the file that we use to determine what to package together into a model kit. So it's maybe a little bit similar to a Docker file, but it's completely different purpose and different usage. So let's take a quick look at the contents of this kit file. This is a very this is a kit file with a lot of artifacts and information in it. But in essence, a kit file can only have uh, just the package information or no package information. Essentially, only mandatory field in the kit file is the manifest version and one of the model code dataset or docs definitions. The rest is completely you can pick and choose what you want. And then when you're doing a model, you can actually add parameters to it so that you can use them. You can use your model kit as a central place for storing your parameters. In this case, we are storing ML flow information, but you can also do all kinds of inference evaluation parameters. As you can see, our data sets are also packaged. Our code is packaged, and we have a bunch of documentation that we have packaged into ModelKit. So how does the packaging work? As you can see, we have a git pack command, which is similar to the build command, but Unlike build does executions, kitpack never does executions. It basically just packages things. Therefore, the name is kitpack, and we're giving it a tag, uh, packaging the current folder where our kit file is. So, well, this went really fast because I preparation for this demo obviously did this once or twice. So as you can see, it actually says that these layers are already saved and the configuration already exists. So the reason for that is the Kit CLI never duplicates the data, and if the data set already exists, and if a layer already exists, it just basically does not save it again. As you can imagine, and on AI/ML, the artifacts can get really large, and we do not want to duplicate them. So next, let's see if it exists on our local repository. As you can see, I have a bunch of stuff in my local repo, but one of those is this wine quality version 2.0, which was the tag we have just used. So next, what I'll do is I'm gonna try and push this to JosuML, our registry. The push command is very familiar. It's a little bit different than Docker, but similar to Podman. So it does take your local tag, and then you can give it the destination tag essentially. And this will push the wine quality v2 to JosuML under Josu Quick Start organization. And yep, it is pushed. As you can imagine, some of the layers already existed on the remote as well. But just in case, let's take a do a remote listing of the repository and see if everything is where it's supposed to be. And yeah, as you can see, there are several tags and of this on this repository. The sizes are and the SHAs are different. One thing I'll do is I'm going to just take a look at this repository on JosuML. As you can see, this is the repository we just pushed into. Same tags over here. And if you look at the contents, you can see the model contents here. And there is the package information that we have seen on the kit file, the parameters we passed, the data sets, everything is where you expect it to be. And you can pull this repository with this command. But one thing more interesting is you can only pull the model layer as well. So we have this filtering mechanism which allows you to pick and choose the layers that you want to pull, and this becomes really, really handy when you're dealing with very large artifacts on different workflows. Another thing that may have noticed, there's a security scanning. This one actually scans for any code injection vulnerabilities on packaging formats like pickle, which we have on this model, as you can see. And then there's the differentiation. So that you may have seen the different tags on this repo, and you can do a quick diff of the tags and see what has changed. For instance, I'm now making a diff of the champion model with the current model, and looking at the differences on the two packages. As you can see, for instance, the licenses are different, but this is a very handy tool just to see, if I have used the same data set or a different data set when you have multiple ModelKit versions. And of course, the README file, or as the AI ML industry likes to call the model cards, is also available here. One interesting bit is the deploy tab. Is we actually generate a Docker image for model kits. This is part and mostly for the use of using inference. You can select your base image, and your image will be generated for you on demand, and you can just pull it from anywhere in using the JOSML address. As you can see, the address is just augmented with the type of container that you want to use. With that, let's go back to our presentation. All right, now that we have proved we can do a demo, let's think about why this matters to you. It's because there's so much technology sprawl right now, and you don't really need new infrastructure. You need smarter infrastructure. You actually want to consolidate to be able to scale for AI. Stop multiplying more tools and techniques and so on and so forth, but rather start multiplying their effectiveness. Security and compliance is and should not be an afterthought. It's more important than ever. And attestations and SBOMs are things that we have developed over the last decade for applications. You do not need to reinvent the wheel on that. Of course, your team is already familiar with containers and OSGI, so uh, that's also a good starting point for your teams. KitOps is part of CNCF. It is open standard, open governance, and there is no one vendor lock-in. So, what is your to-do list? Of course, visit the kitops.org, get your hands dirty, download the CLI, play with it, and see how easy it is. You can join our community at Discord. The link to the Discord is on kitops.org. Bring your worst YAML stories to us. And you can always email me directly at gorkem@josu.com with questions, ideas, anything you feel that I should know. I hope you live with this message. The KitOps isn't about adding more. It's actually about recognizing that what you need has been quietly available all along and patiently waiting for you to notice. And KitOps hopefully helps you notice what you already have, and is available for AI and ML.